Easy come, easy go. That is how the Kakamega Senator Boniface Halwale described Cleopas Malala's short stay at the UDA as the Secretary General. And many experts are saying that when the writings were clearly on the wall, Cleopas Malala failed to read the signs, and like the proverbial ostrich, he decided to bury his head in the sand. Ladies and gentlemen, today, the 2nd of August 2024, Cleopas Malala has officially been removed as the UDA Secretary General. And with that ouster, UDA members jumped into celebration. And it only shows that they never wanted Cleopas Malala there. Now, in a letter that was written by the UDA chair, Cecil Mbarire, of course, after the UDA National Governing Council met very urgently because there was turmoil in the UDA, they resolved unanimously to remove Cleopas Malala. Now, it started when a group calling itself the founder members of the UDA convened a meeting in a very suspicious manner, and they fronted Joe Halende, who said that Malala had abrogated his duties as the UDA chairman, and therefore they decided that they imposed, what I would call imposed, Joe Halende as the new Secretary General. Malala did not take that action very kindly, and he organized for some hooligans. And so there were two groups of hooligans occupying UDA. And at some point, it went chaotic and Joe Halende was injured. There was a picture that was going viral where he had a deep cut in the head. Now, in the ensuing melee, William Ruto was watching very closely. And so the UDA officials decided to convene a very urgent meeting. Now, it seems Malala did not want this meeting to take place. He must have realized that the fraternity, the UDA fraternity, did not want him in that post. So he moved very fast to the political parties tribunal to block the UDA NEC from meeting today. He had announced that this meeting would take place on 9th. But all the same, Cecil Mbarire and the group convened a meeting and they decided that Malala can no longer stay at the UDA as the Secretary General. And in fact, the court granted Malala some reprieve because it was said that they had blocked the UDA from convening the NEC meeting. So I do not know whether that meeting stands null and void. I don't know. But that is what the court said. Kindly subscribe to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching for the first time, click the notification bell to allow YouTube to notify you. Give this video likes. By doing that, you go a long way in supporting this video. And I want to thank you in a very special way for your continued support. We usually don't take the support for granted. Ladies and gentlemen, where exactly did the rain start beating Cleopas Malala? That is the question that many are asking. Because at some point, Cleopas Malala was the blue-eyed boy, the little kid, the darling, the apple of an eye of William Samoei Ruto. In fact, amidst the chagrin, against the chagrin of some of the UDA members, William Ruto decided to unilaterally appoint Cleopas Malala as the Secretary General. Where exactly did the rain start beating Cleopas Malala? And I have looked at the events that took place immediately. Cleopas Malala was appointed as the new Secretary General. And I have a feeling that what I call kiherehere his abrasive manner of playing politics, the way he pokes his nose into businesses that he should have not even dared. Number one, immediately Cleopas Malala was appointed as the Secretary General. The first statement that he made was, I am going to paint Kisumu yellow. Anytime you are a politician and you've been in this game for some times, and you have watched the events that have been taking place, you are warned never to go head on with Raila Amolo Odinga. Because when he was appointed, he was giving us an impression that he was joining the camp that was saying that Raila should be placed in a wheelbarrow and head to Bondo. And that is why he was saying that he was going to do a recruitment drive where Kisumu would be painted yellow, and so he was on a mission to kick out Raila Amolo Odinga. When you do that, you know that you've been given a rope to commit suicide. And so that was the first mistake. Why am I saying it is a mistake? It was obvious that in the next few months, if not years, the person he wanted to kick out would be dining on the same table with the boss that sent him to kick out Raila Amolo Odinga. Wait a minute, I will explain to you. Number two, Cleopas Malala attacked his senior bosses from the Mulembe Nation. He was sent with a mission, one mission: go and order, go and compel the Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi and the Speaker of the National Assembly Moses Wetangula to fold their parties to come to UDA. And when you look at Cleopas Malala, he's a young man, he's a millennial. People like Mudavadi and Wetangula are senior politicians. And one thing that I want to repeat, because I have sung this song over and over again: Musalia Mudavadi, Wetangula, Raila, Ruto, Uhuru Kenyatta, Kalonzo Musyoka, these people belong to the same class. They will sacrifice you at the table, at the altar of negotiations. And so when Malala went ahead and started issuing ultimatums to his senior bosses, they were watching him. And there is a political cost that you must always pay, because these people will always regroup. Right now, William Ruto is looking for a political realignment, and is looking at 2027. And when you look at things, Wetangula, Mudavadi, Raila Amolo Odinga are in the same basket. They are speaking the same language. So I know all of them must have placed an ultimatum. Hatutaki huyu kijana hapa. We don't want this young boy here, because he had rubbed shoulders the wrong way with his bosses and his friends. And so these were part of the predicaments that are now bedeviling Cleopas Malala. You must have realized that William Ruto ensured that Malala has got no friends to defend him. In the Kenyan politics, you must have people to defend you. Once you have rubbed shoulders the roughest way with the people of your community, because our politics is local and it is quite ethnic based, it is tribal. And Malala is a man who was never wanted by the Gachagua wing of the UDA. They felt that Malala was Johnny come late, and he come into the party that they struggled with. According to Rigathi Gachagua and the group, they faced humiliation and persecution when they were in the Ruto government. Some of them faced corruption charges. Some of them were frustrated, according to them, and they fought hard with their allegiance to William Samoei Ruto. And so they felt that Malala could not come and get that very prestigious position. They wanted that position to be preserved and reserved for them. And so he's a man who was never wanted in all quarters. At some point, they had said that this should be left to Ndindi Nyoro or somebody, but not someone from Western. And so when you look at it now, come to think of it this way: the Gachagua wing never wanted Malala to be in that position. Boni Halwale did not want him to be in that position. Raila Amolo Odinga did not feel, did not find it kind that a young man could try and talk ill about his party and saying that he was going to paint Kisumu. And in fact, they tried with people like Obado, all those Nyanza rebels. I don't know their fate now, because Raila is more in status than them. and then of course Mudavadi and Wetangula. So Wetangula, if you look at Malala, who will fight for him? Because in the Kenyan political justice system, you are left alone if you don't have people to fight for you. The reason why I'm saying that Malala failed to read the signs and symptoms on the wall is that he has been this blue-eyed boy. And then someone comes by the name Joe Halende, and then Joe Halende is another lawyer, so that they are put together. And William Ruto is watching. Malala could not imagine, because if William Ruto is the one who appointed you there, how come someone comes and imposture and he says, he declares that you are no longer the new Secretary General and he takes over. This might have, demonstrated to Malala that he was never wanted in that position. And in fact, instead of hiring goons, because that was the last nail on his own coffin, he buried himself. When the goons went and beat and harassed Joe Halende, it was over, because it was then that the party felt this was getting out of hand. This was becoming Malala was now becoming a disgrace to the party, and this was all choreographed. In politics, everything is all choreographed to meet certain political objectives, and it was a way of, Malala is very easy to provoke, ile kierere yake. So they provoked him and he reacted, and that is how he's gone. He's still going to court, but he must understand that, one, he was never elected. He was an appointee. So even if they get to that political parties tribunal, he doesn't hold any water. He is appointed. And number two, he must realize that these parties in Kenya belong to certain families. UDA belongs to William Ruto. Jubilee belongs to Uhuru Kenyatta. Wiper belongs to Kalonzo, and ODM belongs to Raila. Yes, they have this national outlook, national faith, but if you try playing around with the parties, you will realize that they are attached to certain individuals. So Malala should not fight this in court. You can never force a couple who does not want to live together by a court. Kama bwana kutaki ama bibi akutaki, it can never be forced in a court of justice. The only thing that can be done is that you mnagawa mali katikati. You divide the wealth that you have accumulated together. So Malala must understand that his goose is cooked, the die is cast, and the battlements are drawn. Yake imeisha hivyo. I can assure you, he should keep calm and wait for Ruto to give him a position. As William Ruto tries to craft another alliance, Malala is very insignificant, because Ruto has Raila on his side. He's got now Paranya and Moses Wetangula and Mudavadi on his side. He's got people like Joho. He's got almost the ODM fraternity on his side. And so what is he giving William Ruto now? Of what importance is it to William Ruto? And that's why I'm telling you that it is over for Cleopas Malala.